Hey guys, welcome to my guide on Guardians of the Rift. Let's get started. So, to unlock Guardians of the Rift, you have to have finished the new quest, Temple of the Eye, and you want to make your way to the Wizard's Tower, south of Draenor. Once you're here, you come to the basement, and as you may know from completing the quest, there's the portal to the minigame, so just step through. Pretty simple to get to come here. So once you're here, if the game's already in progress, you can check the where they're at by peeking the barrier. So 58 people inside and the percent is 9. So they've just started, and you probably just want to hop worlds and find a game which is closer to completion. Okay, before we get started, let me talk about items and gear that you need really quick. So you need a chisel and a pickaxe to play the game. For pickaxes, you should probably bring a rune pickaxe at least. If you have dragon, bring dragon. If you have a crystal pickaxe and can afford the crystal shard usage, bring that. Because I think it's about 10% better than a dragon pickaxe because of its special innate effect where 25% of the time you reduce your mining cycle from 3 ticks to 2 ticks. Now, you want to bring full graceful so that you don't ever run out of run energy, but you don't. It's not that intense, so you don't ever need to bring stamina potions or anything like that. For the chest piece slot, you're actually not bringing graceful for that slot. You're bringing Varrock armor because it gives you a 10% chance of mining 2 ores at once. For the blessing slot, you want to bring Rada's blessing 2. That gives you a 5% chance of mining 2 essences at once. And then you want to bring a celestial ring. It gives you a +4 invisible mining boost to your mining level, and then if you charge it with Stardust, it also has a 10% chance of mining 2 ores at once. Now, you also want to bring any essence pouches you have, small, medium, large, giant, whatever you got, bring it, because it lets you hold more rune essence, obviously. The thing is, you need NPC contact during the game to play this. After every game, you want to use NPC contact to repair pouches. If you can't do this, then don't bring essence pouches. I bring a rune pouch so that I can store my NPC contact spells in them, so that I can do it whenever I want. But you can just bring a rune pouch by itself to store the runes that you're crafting during the minigame, so that you don't have to drop them for space. Alright, so this world's just finished, and so what you want to do is, at the start, come and grab 10 uncharged cells, 1 weak cell, and then you want to run right here, come down, so that you can mine the large guardian remains. These give the most fragments. So if you don't have the agility level to scale the slope to the right for the huge guardian remains, you still want to grab your 10 uncharged cells and 1 weak cell. And then you want to come left here instead to mine the normal guardian remains. You shouldn't mine the guardian parts because they just give less fragments. Now, the first 2 minutes of the game is a preparation phase. This is because creatures from the abyss have not started spawning yet, and the altars are still inactive. So what you want to do is you want to immediately click on mine to start getting fragments, and then you can AFK. Have a stretch, go to the toilet, grab food, grab water, check your phone. Whatever you need to do, the first 90 seconds of the game, for every game, is entirely AFK. Now, in the last 30 seconds, there is actually quite a lot to do. So firstly, we want to be utilizing our weak cell that we obtained before the game actually started. This is so that we do not lose the encounter, because if you lose, you actually lose out on 3 minutes of your time, because the first 2 minutes of your prep phase, plus the time it takes for the game to restart. It's a lot of time that could be used for getting runecrafting XP or getting points to get all those goodies in the rewards chest. So we want to be using our weak cell to either spawn a guardian or to help our barriers. The first priority for our weak cell is the barriers. If there's no barriers spawned, which you can tell with there's a yellow Y between each pillar, that means there's a barrier there. If there's no barrier, we should be placing our barrier down. The second priority is spawning a guardian if we have less than 5 guardians. So in this case, we can see that we've already got 8 to 9 guardians out of our total of 10. You can only have 10 for your full team. So, if you've got like more than 5, we don't really need to spawn more guardians. And so I would go directly to number 3, which is to reinforce the most northern barrier. Now after you've used up your weak cell, you should go to the workbench and start crafting rune essence. Whilst you're crafting your rune essence, prep phase will finish, creatures from the abyss will start spawning, and altars will start becoming active, which takes us to phase 2. In phase 2, an elemental runecrafting altar and a catalytic altar will open up, letting you go through. There will always be one elemental and one catalytic available, rotating randomly. For elemental, you want to go to the fire altar, and for catalytic, you want to either go to the blood or the death altar. These give you the most experience and the most energy. When you runecraft on an altar, you get the runes that you would normally receive, plus catalytic or elemental runes. You need to use these new runes on the guardian in the middle to receive energy. Each rune will give you 2 energy, so if you hand in 40 elemental runes, you receive 80 elemental energy. It doesn't matter which altar you go to in this regard, you always receive 2 energy for every essence that you consumed. Now, remember the 10 uncharged cells that you got at the start of the game? Every time you runecraft on an altar, one of these will get charged up. If you already have a charged cell in your bag, then you won't receive a new one. You want to use up your charged cells to create more guardians, repair or upgrade barriers like you did in phase 1. You receive points for these actions depending on the quality of your charged cell, which is why we want to prioritize fire, death, and blood altars, because these will give you an overcharged cell. Make sure you always use up your cell before you go to a new altar. In phase 2, we get a new mechanic, which is the portal. Going through the portal takes you to an enclosed area where you can mine the huge guardian remains. Mining these will give you guardian essence directly, instead of guardian fragments which then need to be crafted into guardian essence. Mining these also feels much faster, and you can fill up your full inventory and all your rune pouches in no time. Portals spawn at a relatively fixed time every game, so you can plan your action around these. When you're mining essence at the portal, you want to pay attention to the altar rotation. If it just happened recently, then head into whatever's the best option for you right now. If it hasn't changed for a while, you can wait a few seconds to see the new set of altars. Runecraft the runes, and then head back to the workbench, fill up your inventory and pouches with more essence, and then runecraft those. By the time you've come out, another portal will have spawned. Now you just want to repeat the process. When you're runecrafting at an altar, there's a slight chance for you to receive an item called a portal talisman. These let you directly go into an altar, even if the altar is inactive in the current rotation. For example, if the current rotation is air and mine altars, you can still head into the fire altar if you had the talisman for it, which will increase your experience and points per hour. For about every 100 energy, you'll receive 1 point after the game. You want to aim for an equal amount of elemental and catalytic points, because the reward chest will always use up 1 elemental and 1 catalytic point for 1 reward. When starting off, you want to aim for about 300 energy for both types in a game, which will net you 3 reward rolls from the chest. Sometimes the ratio might be a bit skewed off, but you can just balance it off in future games. So if you've gone to the blood altar a bit too much in one game, next game you can aim to go to the fire altar more. When you get experience, you can aim for 7 to 8 points per 10-minute game in a mass world. If you get lucky with an abyssal lantern or abyssal needle, this will increase your points per game as well as experience per hour. I've heard that some people are getting 70k XP per hour after getting these items.
I'll all night by myself, trying to think of ways to you. Your voice stuck in my brain, we never got to see it through. And I know I feel more pain if we're speaking truth. Cause when the daylight comes I still lose. So will I feel it again? I just don't know. And I'm hoping I'll find a way to let go. So if you love me, how could you leave me so low? So will I feel it again? I just don't know. I just don't know. Just don't know. Cause when the daylight comes I still lose. So will I feel it again? I just don't know. And I'm hoping I'll find a way to let go. So if you love me, how could you leave me so low? So will I feel it again? I just don't know. I just don't know. Looking back at our time, hoping that we did it right. And give me any reason to call you up late at night. And we know it's for the best, I won't put up a fight. Cause when the daylight comes I still lose. So will I feel it again? I just don't know. And I'm hoping I'll find a way to let go. So if you love me, how could you leave me so low? So will I feel it again? I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. Cause when the daylight comes I still lose. So will I feel it again? I just don't know. And I'm hoping I'll find a way to let go. So if you love me, how could you leave me so low? So will I feel it again? I just don't know. I just don't know.
Now, I don't know whether this is considered against TOS, but I don't think it's worthwhile doing anyways. Basically, before the game ends in the previous game, you don't leave the portal room and you just wait here until the next game starts. When the game starts, you can directly mine the huge remains for golden essence, whilst everyone else is mining fragments. The downside to this though is you need to go back to the right side and start mining fragments, otherwise you won't have enough essence for the entire game. Also, you're missing out on the end of the game from the previous game, so that's like Runecrafting XP that you've forgone just for this. But yeah, just wanted to show you that this is a thing.